Hello my fellow adventurers, Esper here. I'm making this video to go over a bit of lore. I hope you find this interesting. Maybe you can take some ideas from it for your own campaigns and settings at home. And for those of you that have been watching my live stream campaign, this will give you some deeper looks into the region that the characters have been in recently. This is a new type of video for me. If you like this style of lore video, drop me a comment and let me know. It's going to be a bit casual. I have a lot of notes, but I'm going to just kind of talk off the cuff as well. So let's take a look here at the region of the Swamp Dwarves. This is known as Dens Morris. It's a temperate to cold swamp region in Drekkengrim. So let's just jump right in. We're going to start here with Norgal's Rock. This is the Swamp Dwarf settlement. It's one of the tours. Actually, it's a number of rocky hills that culminate in this big mountainous crag coming up here out of the swamps. The highest parts, known as High Tor, the great dwarven clans dwell there. Not only are there internal settlements, but there are some external marsh dwellings too. It's a town, it's not huge. Drekkengrim doesn't have a lot of big settlements in it. There are 3 great clans, as well as lesser clans that are beholden to them. There's Clan Mithrilian, which is the owner of the largest precious metal mine. They have an alliance with Great House Rodvin of Sumnerfield, which is a human settlement and the only city in Drekkengrim, small city at that. Mithrilians are extremely conservative. They are the richest of the dwarves. They also have the best armaments. Their current chieftain is Dane Mithrilian. Clan Alder is the largest producer of lumber, spices, and alchemical reagents. They have an alliance with the Woad folk of the Weeping Woods, which are a sect of tree folk. They're very socially present throughout Norgal's Rock. They have varied political views, and they get criticized about that. They get criticized for not having the typical dwarven admirable qualities of consistency and stubbornness. Their chieftain is Clorton Alder. Clan Halfgrey is the 3rd of the great clans. They own the largest iron and coal mines. They have an alliance with the Greenscales, which is a lizard folk tribe out farther into the swamps. The Halfgreys are industrious. Traditionally, they have been very short-sighted, but recently they have been trying to innovate. They're also the most athletic of the clans. Their chieftain is Fallerand Halfgrey. A couple other factions worth mentioning are the Finguard and the Emerald Mages. The Finguard are dwarven soldiers that ride giant lizards. They protect Norgal's Rock and the nearby areas. Up until recently, their most prominent member was Chamgur Stonehound. If you've been following the Land of Dreams and Nightmares campaign on my live stream, Chamgur met his demise recently. Roricksop is now assuming command of the Finguard. Late Chamgur's dear friend is Orgrim Halfgrey, and he's the most prominent member of the Emerald Mages. They're a small circle of dwarven arcanists who function as lore keepers and emissaries in Norgal's Rock. The traditional dwarvish deities have grown silent and distant since the Merqueen's plague, which that's happened all throughout the realm with all the races. Some dwarves have turned to the worship of Nyarlathotep. He is one of the great old ones. Some might refer to him as an outer god. He is regarded as a confessor and a keeper of secrets. He is a mighty artificer and a wanderer king from beyond. So we're going to take a path eastward out of Norgal's Rock, going into the swamps. First, we come across Heath Tor. So this is a pretty quiet location. It's a large rocky hill. It once was a busy dwarven mine, but it was exhausted of its ore long ago. So it's empty and quiet nowadays. We continue on further. We're going to reach Drowned Tor. Now, that is actually the nickname. The actual name of this location is Silver Tor, but it was abandoned after a flood overtook its silver mines. Now, this flood trapped and killed many of the dwarvish miners down there, including Voglof Urvsvamp, who is a cousin of the player character Kivish. We're going to continue on eastward along this path. We'll reach Adder's Tor next. This is a large rocky crag. It rises up out of a massive bog. Long ago, a sect of swamp druids performed their rituals here. Their members were referred to as adders, so that's where the name originally comes from. Now, eventually, the swamp druids, their faction dissolved. Some of the remaining members relocated to the Weeping Woods, and they formed a new faction called the Mossbeards. A lizard folk tribe known as the Greenscales are wanting to set up a permanent and fortified settlement here at Adder's Tor. They're the lizard folk that are allied with the dwarvish clan Halfgrey. And Halfgrey is interested in the mining possibilities at Adder's Tor. A couple years ago, Clan Halfgrey began assisting the lizard folk, though not with the full support of Norgal's Rock. So the settlement is unfinished, and the mine hasn't even been tunneled yet. And already this settlement has suffered some major problems in the form of other dangerous factions from deep within the swamps, notably the Hydra tribe, which is the other lizard folk tribe. They recently sacked and invaded Adder's Tor. From here, let's take a brief little jaunt southward to Old Gnarl Branch. This is an ancient witch tree. It was the site of many dark rituals before the Fingard put them to death. Jumping up north, we're going to make it to Dirge Caverns. This is a bit of a unsettling location. It's a cavern network that is known to be the dwelling of a few factions. There is a group of wights, undead, yeah. There is a dwarvish clan known as Clan Axewort. They are bitter-hearted dwarves that long since were exiled from Norgal's Rock. There is also a cult of Amarantha. Now, if you know much about Drekkengrim lore, Amarantha is the Mer Queen, a mermaid lich who was bound into eternal slumber beneath her water castle. And as the local, or as the lore of this realm tells, she is the cause of much of the strange goings-on, problems, and supernatural threats that plague the land. Let's go a bit eastward to Omen Mox. This is a ruined temple here. Omen Mox is a ruined temple of Illus the Lantern. He is a god of knowledge. Here dwell the Fume Weavers. They are a sect of Mephits. The party might be going there sometime soon. Down to the southeast from Omen Mox, we make it to the Weeping Woods. Spirits haunt this woodland, including a grove of trees with weeping faces. This is also known to be the domain of two factions, the Woad folk, who are tree folk, and swamp druids known as the Mossbeards. So, mentioned those before. That's their dwelling. Just to the west of the Weeping Woods, or maybe southwest by west, is Loch Insum. I believe that means Lonely Lake. Yes, the Lonely Lake, home of the fractured dwarvish clan Rockjaw. The rest of Clan Rockjaw live in the mountains north of the Silver Citadel. There's also rumors of Kelia, the Witch of the Lake. Let's continue eastward and we arrive at Black Tor. Black Tor is a lone mountain with a steep winding path. There is an abandoned coal mine of the fallen dwarf clan Blackenbones. That clan is no more. Black Tor is also the lair of Vexavar, a black dragon, and Clan Talazark, who is a kobold clan, and they are the followers of Vexavar, the black dragon. If we go south, actually, off the mainland, we're going to reach the Furtive Isle. It's a small wooded island. There's a few other minor locations I'd like to mention to fill in a couple gaps here. Out in the woods, so this would be east of Adder's Tor, there is the Greenscale Village. This is the ancestral home of the Greenscale lizard folk tribe, the one allied with Clan Halfgrey of Norgal's Rock. There's also a neat little location that's south of Heath Tor. Nope, I take that back. South of Drowned Tor, known as Gundren's Hill. It's a hillock with a monument to Gundred Mithrilian. The monument features a statue of a dwarven woman with an axe in a stump. Gundred was the best dwarven warrior woman ever known in Norgal's Rock. She led an expedition into the frosty mountains of northern Drekkengrim one winter some 2 centuries ago. She never returned, and her husband died of a broken heart. His final words spoke of a dream he had of spring coming and Gundred returning home. Oh, let's see. Also out in the deep swamps, there is the Hydra village. This is the ancestral home of the Hydra tribe of lizard folk. They're the enemies of the green scales. Stungvella Grotto is also out there somewhere. It's a swamp cavern inhabited by a small clan of trolls. As those who are following the livestream campaign have heard, the Stungvella trolls have allied with the Hydra lizard folk and the Swamp Queen. Who is the Swamp Queen, you might ask? Well, also somewhere out there in the deep swamps is the throne of the Swamp Queen. She is about a 5-century-year-old dwarf woman. She is a bit of a outlying power source. The dwarves of Norgal's Rock are not very fond of her. She is not a follower of dwarvish tradition, but they have a sort of uneasy, maybe not a truce, but they tolerate her, yeah. So that's going to do it for the region lore. I'm going to jump over now to the Clansmoot. So this is following in the storyline of the campaign. The great clans of Norgal's Rock and the other important factions associated with them are having their official assembly where they're all going to get together and talk about some of the important events and pressing concerns of the region. So we've got Clan Mithrilian, Clan Alder, Clan Halfgrey. We've got the Finguard, the Emerald Mages. Kivish's party, the player characters, they will also be there. They're going to be in the section with Clan Alder, as Kivish's lesser clan is aligned with Clan Alder. There's a few outside factions participating in the Clansmoot as well. There's the Silver Citadel, which is the authority of magic in Drekkengrim. It is, it's a citadel. It's a bastion of arcane knowledge, and there are a number of archmages. There's actually one archmage per school of magic that compose the leadership of the Silver Citadel. So from the Silver Citadel, one of the archmages is participating in the Clansmoot. It is Archmage Hansel Gekri, Grand Master Necromancer. He is accompanied by expert diviner Gundren Brightstar and expert abjurer Tamara Skildshin. As well, he has his personal champion, Big Thomas, who is a fully plated 8-foot-tall undead warrior, as well as a guard of 8 veiled skeletons. He also extended an invitation to Chieftain Shakam Rockjaw of the Mountain Dwarves, who refused. There's bad blood between the last of the Mountain Dwarves and the Swamp Dwarves here of Dinsmorris. There's also Great House Rodvin of Sumnerfield, which is represented by Lord Eric and Lady Iona. They are the leaders of the human city of Sumnerfield, which is the largest settlement in Drekkengrim. They also are accompanied by their advisors and retainers, their champion Alec Maxwell, and a squadron of 24 soldiers. And the last guest of the Clansmoot is the Royal Throne of Terrowtown, the halfling river village to the west. We have here Countess Sama Orlov, her advisors and retainers, and her champion Left Eye Jack, as well as a guard of 6 soldiers. Now on to the addresses made during the Clansmoot. First we have Chieftain Dane Mithrilian. Nigh 2 months ago, Word reached Norgal's Rock that an army of undead had come from the north, with its aim set on Strang's Keep, and likely Sumnerfield after that. This gruesome host was intercepted and repelled by a second undead army, led by here Archmage Hansel Gekri, Grandmaster of Necromancy of the Silver Citadel. Afterward, we sent our Roricksop and a squad of the Finguard to Strang's Keep and to Legend's Call, where they confirmed this news. They also heard of a suspicious dark rider traversing across the realm, and even caught sight of him not far from the rock spire at the entrance to Merkelon's Jaw. But undeath to fight undeath? Does one evil negate another? This is not the way of the swamp dwarves. Let that which has died decay and return to the land. If a battle must be fought to guard our realm, we shall fight it with our own strength. We are not cowards, and we are not corruptors. We must bolster our own defenses, train more and better soldiers, and better utilize our very resources without trading them away to the highest bidders. The next speaker is Chieftain Clorton Alder. The Mer Queen is surely the force behind this undead host. She has plagued our realm for far too long now. Clan Alder does offer gratitude to Archmage Hansel for sparing the lives of so many, but we cannot condone necromantic surges as a long-term solution. The Silver Citadel has traded with Clan Alder for generations. Our swamp reagents are the finest in the realm. Our two factions should form a new alliance and develop a better, cleaner way to combat the foe to the north. The last of the great dwarven chieftains, Falorand Halfgrey. The enemy has been dealt a powerful blow. Now's the time to strike. First, we march on Dirge Caverns, where the Swamp Queen has settled her new stronghold and aligned with the Mare Queen. This ace squad, led by the Druid Kivish, slew some of the Swamp Queen's key warriors, so she has been weakened. After we deal with the enemy hold at Dirge Caverns, we then march north, along with the mat of the Silver Citadel and Sumnerfield. Join with us and vanquish the Mare Queen forever. Norgal's Rock also needs to officially and definitively ally with the Green Scale Lizard Folk tribe. Their new settlement was raided, and a number of their warriors slain. Other store lies untapped and unutilized. The next speaker is Roricksop, the current ranking commander of the Finguard. An assault on Dirge Caverns is a strong move. Our victory is assured. Norgal's Rock has tolerated the Swamp Queen for decades, but now she has crossed the line and made a true foe of herself. However, an attack on the Mare Queen's castle is ill-advised, not unless we know for certain what lies in wait there and precisely how we can slay her. The last dwarven speaker is Orgrim Halfgrey of the Emerald Mages. I agree, the Swamp Queen has fallen unto wickedness and corruption, though I pity her in a fashion. After the Mossbeard's assassination attempt on her, she was left poisoned, racked, mutilated. This should not have been her fate. A swift death and a proper funeral is what she deserves now. I must disagree about the Mer Queen, however. In my hour of direst need, she lent me her aid and protected me against the behemoth Keshabek. I saw the Mer Queen as she truly is, a mermaid sovereign, with a heart like any of us. Conflicted, perhaps, but do we not suffer our own nightmares, each and every one of us? It is undeniable that a terrible war was waged those many years past, but the victors have written us a history highly distorted against Amarantha the Mer Queen. The next speakers are Lord Eric along with Lady Iona of Sumnerfield, the human city to the south. We stand in alliance and support of Clan Mithrillion. Necromancy is not the answer. It is dark path that leads to nothing but suffering, the rotting of the very fabric of society. We shall strengthen and defend our homes. We shall do so in a way that will honor our ancestors and make them proud of us. The next speaker is the Halfling Countess Sama Orlov of Terrowtown. Having recently put down a rebellion in my own town, I know how terrible a thing it is to face corruption from within. The Halflings of Terrowtown support Clan Mithrillion and Great House Rodvin of Sumnerfield. Our homes must be our bastions, and those who defy what is just and right are our enemies. Now is not the time for leniency or for hesitation. We must secure our own towns foremost, then look towards how to strike down the wicked foes from the north and the deep of the swamps. The last speaker here is Archmage Hansel Gekri, the Grand Master Necromancy of the Silver Citadel.
The power of Amarantha, the Mer Queen, is as strong as it ever was, though it is little within her control, as she slips between dream states below her water castle. When she was originally imprisoned there, in her eternal slumber, it seemed her power had been contained. But as with most things magical, she found a way to seep through, and a new form of expression was achieved. This recent host of undead, which my forces routed, is led by a lich named Pox Marta, who serves Amarantha. Though Pox Marta appeared as a human, we are unsure as to her true aspect. We were able to slay some of her numbers, and they retreated to Wraithsbane in the north. Had we not stopped them, I have no doubt they would have fallen upon Sumnerfield. Those here who believe that Amarantha is not truly a monster are deluded at best and treacherous at worst. The fair races of Drekkengrim will sleep soundly in their beds tonight, with their loved ones by their sides, because the mages of the Citadel unfailingly commit to protecting the realm. We are proud and glad to forge stronger alliances and trade with the swamp dwarves of Norgal's Rock. Our word stands steeped in tradition. Our trade deals serve the greater good of the realm. And I give you my personal promise that all our undead soldiers come from bodies that are both soul-liberated and verified to come from ethical sources.
The next phase of the Clansmoot comes down to the chieftain's votes. They have consulted with their advisors and their retainers, and they need to cast their votes, cast their says on 4 major issues at hand. The first item is advancing trade with the Silver Citadel. Clan Mithrilian says nay. They, in fact, want to reduce trade with Silver Citadel and focus the resources on the defense of Norgal's Rock itself. Clan Alder says aye, and they wish to strengthen the trade and alliance with the Silver Citadel. Clan Halfgrey votes continuance, as they do not see this as a high priority issue in the current situation. Without a 2/3 vote either way, this item is going to be continued and revisited at a later time. The second item is to strike against the Swamp Queen at Dirge Caverns. Clan Mithrilian votes aye. They are in support of Clan Halfgrey's initiative to strike right away. Clan Alder, again, votes continuance. They have insufficient knowledge about the Swamp Queen, this exiled dwarven demagogue, and they have insufficient knowledge about the Dirge Caverns location itself. Clan Halfgrey, of course, votes aye. Their move is to slay this foe, who they believe is also an ally of the Mer Queen, and to do so now, whilst her forces have been weakened. With a 2/3 vote of aye, this item is going to be set into motion forthwith. The third item is to strike against the Mer Queen at her water castle. Clan Mithrilian votes continuance. This cannot be discussed until the region of Dinsmorris has been secured. Clan Alder votes nay, the risk is too great. Clan Halfgrey again votes aye, the time is now. We need to take down the Swamp Queen and then hit the Mer Queen, while her forces also have been struck a blow. Again, without a 2/3 vote, this item is being continued until further time. The fourth and final item is the official alliance with the Greenscale Lizard Folk and to build a mine at Adder's Tor. Clan Mithrilian votes nay. They do not trust the Lizard Folk, and they do not believe Adder's Tor can be utilized until the other swamp factions have been quelled. Clan Alder votes for continuance. They have insufficient knowledge if Adder's Tor is even rich in ore, and also it is a precarious location. Clan Halfgrey votes aye. The Lizard Folk are a unique ally, and Adder's Tor indeed does hold useful resources. So the fourth item, again, has been continued until a later time. So we see the result of the Clansmoot. There were many different points and perspectives discussed. There are some disagreements. There are some different points of view. But what is known is that very, very soon, the dwarves are going to muster and they are going to launch an assault against Dirge Caverns to fight against the factions that are there and to ideally take down the Swamp Queen, this strange dwarven woman who apparently now is involved with the Mer Queen, the slumbering villain of the Land of Dreams and Nightmares. Thank you, my friends, for stopping by. I hope you've enjoyed this lore and storytelling here. Be sure to join in the next session of the live stream campaign. It will take place Sunday, August 26th, 2018. That's this upcoming Sunday at 1 Central, 2 Eastern Time. It's going to feature Gundren Brightstar, the diviner from the Silver Citadel, who's down with the Archmage. He's going to be joining with the party, and they are going to explore that Omen Mock's ruined temple where the Mephits are known to dwell, and this is going to be taking place sort of in between the Clansmoot and the assault on Dirge Caverns, which is just a small span of time there, so it should be a one-shot adventure. Thank you again, and as always, may your adventures be many.